What's happening? You Titan fans, Titan Bros are coming at you again. Time for a preview on matchup number 2 in the preseason. And it will be the Titans versus the
Minnesota Vikings.
That is correct. Making sure you're paying attention. So they just had 2 joint practices this week, which were tons of storylines. In fact, let's go ahead and touch on a little bit of news for the week. And the news for the week would be Treylon Burks hurt, and we got Will Levis hurt. So big news. Obviously, at this point, it's Friday evening, so at the time of the recording. So we already know it's a LCL sprain for Treylon Burks, which is good because basically everybody was thinking he tore something. He was out for a season, and that was just it. So LCL so much better than it could have been. Mike Vrabel said it's the best case scenario is the way he worded it. But I'm hearing a 3 to 5, 4 to 6 type of recovery for him. So it is very possible he may miss the Saints game. Maybe.
Which definitely would suck because the Saints has a good defense. So many weapons we can have out there would be ideal. But at the end of the day, we did dodge a bullet though, because I remember thinking when I saw the news, I'm like, he better not be out for the season because if Hopkins is on number 1, I don't know if he has enough juice in his tank to consistently be the only good receiver out there and facing double coverage. So I was not feeling good about that. But good news, he's not out for the season. Bad news, like you said, if I had to take a guess now, I'm going to say he's not going to be playing week 1. We shall see, but I feel like Mike Vrabel, and it might be a good thing, I know, is always cautious with bringing people back too soon. And because of that, sometimes he can make an injury, someone miss a week or 2 more than they should. So I can just very much doubt if he plays week 1.
I would say I like that, but at the same time, when we're just always hurt, maybe it's not working.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah,
I don't know what it is. Now, I will say up until this point where we lost Levis and Burks in back-to-back practices, we've been pretty dang healthy. Because there's people like Caleb Farley and Dylan Radins, who I almost forget are even on the team, which Dylan Radins is really screwing himself even more than Caleb Farley. Caleb Farley at this point is just an afterthought to me. But Dylan Radins, like, Brunskill wasn't a starter last year. He played a lot. But so Brunskill shouldn't be somebody you just write in immediately as a starter. Nicholas Petit-Frere did not look good in preseason.
No, he did not. That was disappointing.
And we're still looking for a starter for the first 6 weeks. There's no reason why Dylan Radins couldn't have had his name in the hat for the right tackle position. Honestly, if what's that guy? Andre Dillard. It's not like he should be a lock even for left tackle. So I feel like he really hurt himself. Now, it's not, I mean, you can only do so much when it comes to a torn ACL. But I feel like besides center and left guard, he could have tried to work his way into any of those spots.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say, like you said, for the most part, we've been relatively healthy, so I'm not going to complain with that. But it does suck back-to-back practice with injuries. Now, with the Will Levis thing, we know nothing about it, do you? I mean,
whole thing's hush-hush. Paul Kuharsky had his sources tell him it's a lower body injury, but that is very vague.
Here's the thing. Yes, he's the future. He's who we drafted to, be our quarterback of the future. It's not a big deal in a sense that affects us absolutely none when it comes to this regular season, unless we lose Ryan Tannehill and Malik Willis. You know what I mean? Because I think personally, Malik Willis is right now QB number 2. So we'll talk about QB number 3 being hurt. That's not that big of a deal when it comes to affecting this season. So regardless how long he's hurt.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say tomorrow we will know, or game day, whichever day you people are watching this. We're going to know who the number 2 quarterback is, because I think either Malik Willis, he's going to play either 90% or 100% of this game. Because, well, technically we don't know Will Levis is out, but I would say I would assume he is going to be out. So assuming Will Levis isn't playing tomorrow, either Tannehill's going to get a couple drives and Malik Willis gets the rest of the game, or Malik Willis just gets the entire game. And if that happens, I think it will be decided tomorrow or Saturday evening if he's going to be the second string quarterback or not, Malik Willis. Because he's either going to play a whole game if he did it like he did last week. Like he threw for 180 plus yards last week on 60 maybe percent of the snaps. Would you say?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somewhere around there. So if he got 180 yards passing on 60% of the snaps, if he gets a full game, he could be pushing for 280. Actually, at that pace, he could be pushing for 300 yards passing. If he does that, has like a touchdown, a pick, and then another rushing touchdown or something like that, and they put up, 24, 28 points, I think you could pencil him in as the number 2 easy.
2. Here's the thing. I think he can win the second job tomorrow, but at the same time, if he plays bad, what does that mean exactly? Because I don't think if he plays bad, you just say, well, then he's QB number 3, but I don't think you're very excited to say he's quarterback number 2. I guess just the race goes on, I guess, between the two.
I mean, yeah, the race will still go on, but like if he does just go back to sucking, basically, Will Levis, as long as he can bring himself back in for Friday's game, I think.
The thing is, to me personally, Will Levis did absolutely nothing last game to really say, well, this guy should have the job.
I agree. I agree. And there's a lot of people I watch who I honestly, respect and or enjoy. Like I watch some of the Locked on Titans podcast. Tyler Rowland records a video almost every night and puts it on the Locked on Titans network. And he's saying there's like, in his opinion, now it's an opinion-based show just like this, but he says that he thinks there's only like Malik Willis is just a notch better. It's like just a little bit better than Will Levis. But I'm just like, and he's a film junkie too, but I'm just like, I think Malik Willis was ahead and now I'm not going to say he would just blow him out of the water, but I'd say it's sizably better.
I'll just say this. There was several different plays, like a good 4, 5, 6, 7 plays of Malik Willis. I'm like, that was a good play. Oh, that was a good play. I just really remember one play that Will Levis did that I'm like, that was a good play. He rolled off to his right, hit Kinsey, I think. It was like a 20-yard pass, and that was a good play. But I think that was it. That was the only play that I'm like, that was a good play. But I do remember a drop pick. I remember him missing a wide open receiver, and I remember him throwing a pick. That's my thing. So, like, I don't think Will Levis was that close to Malik Willis to me.
I agree. Well, we gave him grades last time, didn't we? And didn't we give him a B and a C is what we did?
I think a B minus for Malik Willis, and I think I gave him a C or C minus for Will Levis. I think I did C, but
yeah, I think I was B and C flat, which when you're doing a letter grade, that's an entire letter grade difference. Yeah. So that's in my opinion, humble opinion, I just think Malik Willis has separated himself, and he's especially if he plays like he did last week, he's put himself in a good position just to go ahead and put the number 2 spot on the depth chart on lock down. Not just that, but then if Tannehill walks after this season like we all expect he will, that's really going to give Malik Willis the head start of the quarterback competition next year.
Yeah, I will say I would love to see one of those two, if not both, drastically improve before I'm like, that's the guy for the future who I want for 10 years or so. You know what I mean?
I agree, because all Titans reporters, like, because I follow them all on Twitter or X or wherever you want to call it, and they all say the same thing. They say, Tannehill's clearly just the best quarterback out of these 3.
Yeah.
I'm like, if he's clearly the best quarterback of these 3 and we just let him walk next year, it's just going to be so weird. It's almost like you're just accepting a down year almost.
Yeah.
Or just hoping for a big step. Of course, if Malik Willis can go from looking like he shouldn't even be a third string on a roster last year to suddenly he looks like he's locking down the second spot on a roster. If he can do that in a year, who knows what he could do from year 2 to year 3, or who knows what Malik Willis could do Will Levis could do between year 1 and year 2.
Right, there's a lot of questions though. That's more of an off season. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. You know what I mean? Because for this year, Ryan Tannehill's our guy, and nothing Malik Willis or Will Levis does in preseason will change that.
Yeah, I agree. But we're gonna go over our 3 players we're both watching, and we might both have the same person here. But Malik Willis is who I'm gonna be watching, because I do think Malik Willis is either gonna play 90%, like I said earlier, or all of the game. So my first person that I'm really gonna keep an eye on is Malik Willis, because this is really going to be his time to shine. When basically the whole league, the whole coaching staff said it by signing
Drafting Will Levis.
No,
Yep.
Josh Dobbs. Well, that too. I was gonna say by putting Josh Dobbs in and then drafting Will Levis. They've all basically said we're done with Malik Willis. We think he's toast. So this is his chance to really put himself back on the radar. Because if you remember correctly, everybody was like just in love with him before the draft process.
Yeah, they was.
Last
Most
year.
people was wanting him to be the first quarterback drafted, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Exactly.
crazy
So
after that. So.
yeah, because he played horrible. It was just
That's
awful.
the thing. I want Malik. I honestly, I said this off camera to Gabriel, but I like Malik Willis as a dude. I really want him to work out, and I would be more, let's keep him if it wasn't for the fact the regular season games that he's played was some of the worst quarterback play I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not being dramatic when I say that.
He just didn't throw the ball. He just ran around, not even past the line of scrimmage. We're talking he just ran around in the backfield, and he would do a great job. He would just shed like 2 or 3 tackles, but he'd just be just running around the backfield, just flailing his arms around, just not throwing the ball.
Nope. Yeah, it was pathetic.
Rough.
But anyway, so Malik Willis is your first person. That's a good one. That's an obvious one because I could have went there and I didn't. But I think my first one would say I was really impressed, and I've been kind of skeptical of drafting this position in the first round. But I really liked our first round pick, Peters. How do you pronounce
Skoronsky, yeah.
Skoronsky. I'll say this: he was dominant. I know it's hard to get excited about a guard pick, but he looked as good as advertised, didn't he? Because all offseason long, we heard, oh, this guy looks good. He looks like a locked. And I was kind of, because let's face it, when we got him, I was hoping he'd be a tackle. You know, I mean, I didn't want to be a guard. So there's a lot of stuff I just wasn't excited about. But he was mauling people. He was making holes. And I'm still thinking I could get excited with Derrick Henry running behind him in a lot of plays. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and if you just look at him now, maybe because we're used to seeing Taylor Lewan, who is long and skinny, kind of in number 77, but suddenly you see this guy wearing 77. I'm like, this dude just looks like
thick. Yeah,
thick. Yeah, forgive me for sounding modern with the use of that term, but like just like from shoulder to shoulder, even like if you look like from right here to right here, he just a wide.
He looked good,
dude.
Yeah, and I'm excited about that. You know, it's time for us to have some first round picks to hit again because John Robinson's missed on some. So hopefully this can work out. I wouldn't mind us getting some more offensive line in the next offseason, but at least it looks like, Grant, I could be being dramatic. I saw one drive in the sky, but it looks like at least we have one spot of 5 locked down. Maybe, you know. Again, I don't want to jump the gun, but that's why I want to see him in week 2. What does he do? If he does that again this week, then, you know, he's stacking these good performance on top of each other.
I agree. Now, Pro Football Focus doesn't always know what it's talking about, and I don't always agree with everything their little ratings and everything is. But they had the 2 top-rated offensive players for the Titans in week 1 of preseason. Number 1 was Aaron Brewer. Number 2 was Daniel Brunskill. So I would say the 2 most important offensive line spots, left tackle and right tackle. But if we can have a really solid left guard, center, right guard combo, that'll help a lot.
Yeah.
That'll help a lot. So
I mean, honestly, I could have said the whole offensive line as a whole I was excited about. I mean, with the performance, because I was not excited about these guys in the offseason. I think I made some videos talking about that. But I went with the rookie because I just liked what I saw from him. But honestly, all 5 of them looked pretty decent. Can they keep that up against starting offensive, people? We'll see.
It's refreshing to have what they call a plug-and-play starter, because I feel like we don't get those.
Yeah.
We just sadly don't. Traylon Burks was kind of supposed to in some ways be, but in the end, we saw the potential. We saw the big playability with all the bombs he was catching for us. But the dude had 444 or 450, something like that, yards is all he had.
Yeah.
Who'd we draft in the first round, 2021? 2021. I've lost my mind.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It was Caleb Farley.
That Caleb Farley just 2 years ago?
Yeah. Wait. Yeah, 2021 was rookie year. Okay. 2022 was year 2. Yeah, so I don't know why it just took me so long to think of that. And then it was Isaiah Wilson the year before. Yeah. So Caleb Farley came and get on the field, and because he's hurt, and when he actually gets on the field, he just garbage. And then Isaiah Wilson didn't even got cut after his first season, not even all the way at the to the end of the season, because he was just a I don't know what you want to say. And then 2019. Jeffrey Simmons wasn't a plug and play guy because he was actually recovering from an ACL. And then
Yeah.
in 2018, before that, Rashawn Evans, he didn't start until like towards the end of the year. They kind of started letting him start a couple of games. So it's just we never get plug and play people in the first round. So Peter Skoronsky, the fact that he does seem to be a legit plug and play guy, huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
All right. So who's
my second one, redemption, Josh Wiley. I need
Yeah.
to see Josh Wiley have a redemption game because let's be honest, I like the pick of Josh Wiley. I love the mismatch he could be, especially in the red zone. But there's no
He was awful.
sugarcoating. He was awful. He was awful. He got thrown to where he dropped it, which turned into a pick. And correct me if I'm wrong, the guy picked it and he's standing basically in the end zone. So we were that close to the.
Basically, he was responsible for 2 turnovers.
Yes. And it was a great play by Willis. It was like 3rd and 5 or something like that. Willis snaps it, decisive. Sorry, I got to tickle my throat. Sees Josh Wiley get open to the left. He just puts it right in his hands. He just catches it and starts running, and then boom, just fumble. And I'm just like, you killed 2 drives with turnovers. As a tight end, you are not supposed to kill drives. 2 of them.
Well, honestly, tight end would be nice to keep. Your job is a lot of times with 3rd and short situations, keep drives going. Not kill them.
Yeah, that's what Austin Hooper's best attribute was for us last year. I feel like a lot of times on 3rd down, we'd find Hooper, and he'd snag them for us. So he's with the Raiders now, so we'll see how that goes from Jimmy Garoppolo. But anyways, so yeah, I'm looking for a redemption. He doesn't need to have 7 targets, 5 catches for 55 yards and a touchdown. He doesn't need anything like that. Just 4 targets, 2 or 3 catches for like 28 yards.
And do nothing dumb.
And do nothing dumb. Don't drop anything. If it hits your hands, catch it. Don't fumble. Just something to calm your nerves.
Yep, I agree. That would be huge. Because I agree with you. That's somebody I could get excited about. Maybe, he could be a good late round pick for us. But from what I saw, just one game. Don't overreact. One game, you couldn't start your career any worse than that. So that was horrible. And I agree that's a good one. But I think the second one is not going to be as exciting, but I'm going to go on the defensive side of the ball because we haven't talked about as much, maybe because we didn't have many starters playing last game. Also, we don't have any high rookies that we're like excited about. You know what I mean?
No, we didn't draft a single defensive player.
Yeah, so there's really not. And I'm a guy, I don't like to just focus on offense. A lot of fans like that. I like those 2 sides of the ball, but there's not much to be excited about defensively when it comes to new people, that is. But Gator, that guy, he came out of nowhere for us. I still don't even know what his first name was. I can't remember.
That's who my third person was going to be. Okay. They say it's pronounced Eric Garer. Because I always want to say Gar, like the critter in the water. Yeah. Garer. But it's Garer. But I'm going to probably call him Garar. But his first name's Eric. So
I would say this. He flashed. Sometimes talk about flashing your screen. When he was watching, I didn't know the guy hardly existed, but he made a lot of decent plays that I would see him around the ball. So, is he undrafted?
Mm-hmm. He's puny too. He's 5'8", 174 pounds.
Yeah, he's puny.
I'm taller than him, and I weigh more than he does.
But he made some good tackles, though.
He did.
See him, so let's see if he can come out and do it again. That because if he disappears the second game, maybe it was just a lucky game. But if he does it 2 games in a row, there's something might be though.
And he returned a punt for us pretty well at the end of last game too. So he showed up in special teams. He showed up on defense. I like the fight. I like the energy. And if you're an undrafted rookie trying to make a team, that's the kind of stuff you need to do if you want to try to make a team.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. And I'll say this is random, but one of my favorite Titan players, I know you know this, is Cortland Finnegan. And everyone talked about it. He was scrappy, a little undersized, but he was scrappy. And he was a really good cornerback for us. And hey, and he was undrafted too, wasn't he? Or a late round pick or undrafted. I can't remember. I'll look that up. But I'll say the thing is, if we could get another one of those, I'd be perfectly happy.
Yeah, because I also think, especially with Caleb Farley being on the PUP list, I think we still absolutely have a cornerback spot or 2 on the back end of the roster.
Yeah,
very much open.
And Fulton sadly gets hurt all the time, so that's
Fulton
gonna.
gets hurt. He's looking good. He's been looking good in training camp. He's been looking good.
But talent was never his problem with me.
I agree. Just getting on the field was his problem. But yeah, if you get Christian Fulton and Sean Murphy Bunting as your outside cornerbacks, and Roger McCreary in the slot,
he's a 7th round pick.
Yeah, so basically undrafted. So yeah, if you got Bunting, Fulton on the outside, McCreary as the slot guy, who's the first runner up, especially with Caleb Farley out? Who's the first runner up on the outside?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think Eric Garror could absolutely steal him a spot. Yeah. Trey Avery, I think, kind of slid in there last year, and Trey Avery did have a pick against the Bears, but that was more of a PJ Walker thing.
That was a terrible pass. That was almost catching a punt.
Yeah, it's basically exactly what it was like.
Yes. So anyway, I guess that's my next one since you hit 3. And my next one is because you was more excited about this guy. Now, neither of us was when we drafted him, but you talked more glowingly about him this offseason, and I was like, I could care less because I don't want him. Get him off my team. I want another person. But it's Tajay Spears. I held off as long as I can because I still we need other positions to be filled, but he looked good. And you've been telling me that he's been doing well in the offseason. He looked good and explosive and elusive in game 1 for what little time he played. So let's see if he can do that for 2 games.
I mean, yeah, I agree. Tajay Spears. I agree. I'm still not happy with the Will Levis, especially now the way Malik Willis has been playing. I am not happy with the Will Levis or the Tajay Spears signing.
I agree. I agree, but since he's on, kind of like Will Levis, I wasn't happy with that. But since they're on our team, let's hope they play well. You know what I mean? Since they're on the team, hey, maybe Will Levis can be a diamond in the rough and he can shock us and be a great quarterback. And Tajay Spears, maybe he could be a great running back for us.
I mean, here's the hoping, but I'm doing your job and doing some research, so I'm not trying to make you feel unnecessary. But yeah, so one of my draft crushes, who went off last night, I think he had 2 catches for 50 yards. I wanted Cedric Tillman, and I would feel so much better about this team if we got, I think his name is John Michael Schmidt, in the 2nd round. He's a center. If we would have gotten him in the 2nd round instead of Will Levis, and then we would have gotten Cedric Tillman in the 3rd round instead of Tajay Spears, wouldn't you feel so much better about that draft after that?
Yeah, definitely, 1,000%. That would, yeah. 100%.
Well, imagine if our top 3 wide receivers are DeAndre Hopkins, Treylon Burks, and Cedric Tillman.
I would love that.
That would be nice.
That would be nice. We had options to get receivers in the 2nd, 3rd round. We refused to do it.
Let's be honest. Dontrell Hilliard was good for us for 2 years. Yeah. For what we needed him to do, he was really good. I would have been okay with giving him a league minimum veteran deal. Tajay Spears. I'm going to do this so much. Tajay Spears is going to it might make me eat my words, especially 3 years down the road where Derrick Henry's either retired or with another team, and we still have Tajay Spears. I may be eating my words, and honestly, I'm okay with eating my words when it comes to someone being better than I think for the Titans. But the Tajay Spears thing just doesn't, because I hate Will Levis, not as a person, but I hated drafting him. But I understand why. Tannehill, maybe 35 years old. And let's be honest, since the 2020 season, his stats have been a decline. Our stats aren't everything, but it's been on decline. And he's a free agent next year. Malik Willis looked like he shouldn't even be on a roster. So you got to think about your future. Will Levis had 1st round talent. Like most people thought he's going top 5, top 10 in the 1st round. So I can understand their logic with the pick. But the Tajay Spears one was still the one that I just couldn't make sense of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially that high. Like if we had a 4th round pick and he slid to the 4th, I almost would have been okay with it. But just take him number 3 or in the 3rd round. Oh.
I agree, but at the end of the day, he's here. And Derrick Henry hasn't had injury problems, but as he ages, you never know. So it'd be nice to know if he does go down, maybe we can have somebody that won't be a complete waste. Now, granted, when he went down, not 2 years ago, Foreman, I thought did pretty good, to be honest.
Might be one of the most underrated running backs in the league.
Yeah, I thought he did pretty good for us.
He is
I thought he
perfect.
did really good in that playoff game. We lost though. That was thanks to Ryan Tannehill, but I thought he did well. Because I think if Foreman did well, defense did well. The only issue was Tannehill.
Tannehill played the worst game he's maybe played in his entire career.
He'd like to give them the ball.
Yeah. Stupid.
So stupid. Because what I'm thinking about, which this is a change to the rabbit hill, but all of his picks basically set them up in almost at field goal range. Because he threw
except for one.
The last one.
The one that got tipped.
Well, did he ran with it for a while, didn't he? I want to say, I mean, not field goal range. We got tackled, but it was close to it. I'm pretty sure.
It might have been. I know we were close to getting a touchdown when he threw it.
Yeah, I know.
I think
the guy ran for a while until the receiver chased him down.
That might have happened. Sounds vaguely familiar. But yeah, it's just, especially when our defense was lights out. Remember, we got like 8 or 9 sacks that game.
Yep.
I think Simmons got 3. I think Harold Landry got a sack and a half. Danico Autry got a sack and a half. And
that was the last game Landry played for us.
It's crazy.
Doesn't that sound like a long time ago?
It does. But I will say, if you're going to tear your ACL and be out for the season, do it before the season starts. That way you get a whole year of recovery.
Yep, exactly. I agree. Kind of curious to see what he looks like, but that's another story for another day.
Yeah, we're not going to see him in preseason, that's for sure.
But we so to recap, I am Tajay Spears. I am Garrow.
Yeah, Eric Garrow.
And then Mr. Peter Skronsky. So that's my my 3. Yours would be
Malik Willis. Not Tajay Spears.
No.
Malik. Eric Garrow.
Yeah, that's my bad. Yeah.
Eric Garrow, Malik Willis, and redemption for Josh Wiley. But anyways, I hope to be able to get you a reaction video. I don't know if it's going to be. It's probably not going to be Saturday night. Maybe it's Sunday. Sometimes Sunday we might be able to get you a reaction to how the preseason game played out. So I guess that's all we got for you today. Thanks for joining us, and we will be sure to give you an update as soon as the game's over with. So tighten up. Peace.